Okay, so yesterday I think we have seen about Apache web server. I mean, what is Apache web server? How it works, how to install it, and how to deploy our application, how to host our applications. Host and deploy, don't worry, both are same. So today we'll see the same thing. We'll see Apache only. We'll see how to host applications, but with SSL certificate. Why SSL? As I told you, right? HTTPS because it's secure. It will secure the connection between client and the server, and HTTP won't secure it. See, I'm the client. I open google.com. Google.com is the server where it's running. I'm the client, right? So the connection will happen. When I open google.com, there will be connection will be created between me and the Google. So that connection, HTTPS will make it secure. How it makes secure? Let's see. Today, let's see. So what happened is like first, let's see what is this. Yes means I told you yesterday. It's secure. But how this works, everything, let's see. HTTP, yes. Yes means secure. So how this works is there is a protocol behind it called SSL. So this actually what happens is any data which is transferring between users and websites. I'm a user, obviously. I think you know what is a website. Any data which is transferring between users and website or server and a client. Generally, in software terms, this is what we call it, server and client. Client means where we're trying to access something, server is giving some information back. So client is we, I mean, me, let's say, or you. So this SSL, whatever the data, whatever the communication is happening, this will use an encryption algorithm to prevent it from hacking or reading by outsiders. So because when you made a connection, when you open google.com, your IP address, your location, everything will go to Google. I mean, everything will be, it's not like they're tracking it, but it's the information usually it expects or the connection will send. These are all your personal information, right? So that's why we use this SSL to keep that connection secure. How this SSL works? Using encryption. It has keys. So these keys will encrypt the data. I mean, whatever the connection. Okay. How this works? I mean, how the key will have, whatever it works is, it has a public key, private key. Similar way as SSH, if you remember, there will be public key, there will be private key. We'll share the public key, and the public key will be verified by the private key whether it is correct or not. Similar way here also, there will be public key and a private key. Don't share with anyone, but the browser will verify it. So that's why using here, I mean, you can't see. Usually, if you remember, sometimes it will show here a green color, and now the Chrome is updated. But usually, earlier it used to show green because the connection is secure, the key is correct. Now the Chrome changed, so it's showing this. But if it is not, it will show not secure, as you see, you know that. So how this SSL works, let's see. There is something called sync and acknowledge method, which it follows. So first thing is client will start the request. Obviously, right? Let's write this. It sends request. Let's say hello. usually, because when you open Google for the first time, it has to enable the communication. Not only is the first time, let's say I'm opening Google now or any website, the first thing what it will do is it will send a hello request. Means it's trying to establish a connection. 1 minute, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So it's trying to make a connection first. And next, what happens? Client sent hello. Cool. Now server also will send the request. Server hello. Sorry. And next, there will be key exchange. So client will share its key, and on the server side, it will also exchange the key because these both should be matched, otherwise it won't work. Let's say client sent key name with some ABC, let's say, but server have some different key, some BCY something. You don't accept the key is different. Don't accept. So if it should be matching. Next, it will go to very validate these keys. So we call it like cipher root negotiation. It will happen on the both sides. So it will validate the keys whether everything is working or not. If everything is fine, it will send a request, the original request now to server obviously. And once now everything is fine, right? Now it will start data transfer. I mean, opening our website, I mean, whatever you open. This much is happening. When you open Google.com or any website, I mean, not just Google, anything whichever is on internet. But you don't know any of this, right? Usually, when we open a browser and open, immediately opens for us. It won't take this much time because here it might seem difficult, I mean, or huge steps. But when we open, I mean, like in browser, we don't see any of this, right? Or we don't see the lag also. Why? Because this all happens within fraction of milliseconds, so it won't take much time. Got it right? So this is a general way of how this SSL works. So we have something called symmetric encryption, where it expects the key should be same. There are two methods. One is symmetric and another is asymmetric. Asymmetric is where it has two keys, public key and a private key. Symmetric means it has only one key, either a public or private, whatever it is, only one key, which will validate. Okay, right? So now once the key exchange is done, on the cyber suit negotiation is done, I mean, just verifying, sorry, just verifying and encrypting the key. That's it. This step. Then you can see HTTPS, and then the connection is encrypted. Now how to do that? I mean, now okay, I know it's working. How to set up this encryption for my website? Let me log in first. It got stuck. 1 minute. Let's say I'll create my code here. So this is where my code is. As as I mentioned, a document root can be anywhere. So this is my now what I have to do, I have to write a virtual host configuration. Virtual host config, I think it's already written. So I'll just write remove this thing, I don't want it. Now let's separate virtual new host for this one. I think this is fine. Okay, this is my that's it, virtual host. Now let's check the syntax. Syntax is okay. Now let's see. Let's restart the Apache. Restarted. Let's open with our IP address as of now. Let's see. Site can't be reached. Forbidden. You may think why this forbidden? I mean why I can't able to figure it out because as I told you right by default, let me open the log also. By default what happens is Apache expects the code as I told you will slash var whtml. I mean that path. If you I mean that path, I mean Apache have full permissions on the path. But if you keep document root in any other folder, it can't access. I mean we can do it, but it by default it can't access the folder, it can't access the code. Then what we have to do? We have to give access. We have to give access to Apache to access this the folder, I mean the directory where we have kept the code. If you see a root, it is owned by root. That's why it can't access Apache can't access it. So you have to change the ownership. What is how to whom to change owner? By default, Apache user is there. www-data. This is the Apache user. By default, it will be created. You don't need to do anything for this. This is system user. So I have to change to that user. Right. Yes, I think it should be done now. Let me restart again. Let's see if this works. Okay. Still forbidden. Still I can't able to access. Okay, maybe permissions are not enough. Let's see. Let's see the log again. Is there any other thing that we need to do? Just saying client denied server configuration. I think this is correct path. Okay. This what is it sound? Yeah, sorry. So all are correct, but still it is showing same thing. I think right. So how to get it? How to do? We have to define a config. Let's try it. Sorry. So we have to define a configuration to give access to this path. How to define? Within this only we have to define. There is something called directory. Let me write it. Sorry. So this what we're doing is with this directory configuration, we're telling Apache that to give access. I mean simple. So by default, even though we change the ownership, it can't access, right? So that's why we use this method within the Apache configuration to give access to Apache. Now inside that what we keep is require all That's it. Let's try with this. If you see, I opened a section, I closed a section, similar to virtual host. So this is mandatory. Required all granted means we are giving permissions to Apache user. And there is one more thing. Sorry, let's try this first. Restart, refresh. Say it's working. For it, right? Is it okay? I mean, the doubt which you asked.
Okay.
So you just have to, you can use any path, but all you have to do is extra thing. You have to create a directory section within the virtual host only, not outside. It won't work like that. And you just have to use required all granted. So required all granted means we're giving permissions to access this. Now and save and restart that. So now
Can you share that code in chat box, Anna?
this code will be available everywhere. Let me open here. Let's try here. What is the error we got? Uh, Forbidden, right? I think yeah. Go to this one. I think yes, stack overflow is fine. Blah 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 blah. Blah. See, I didn't like it. Blah, 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 blah. See, same thing. Directory or directory here. I mean directory path require condition feature. See, so you will find it everywhere. Don't worry. Even if I forgot to share, but yeah, you can try it. See, it will be everywhere. Okay. Learn to know how to
Okay.
search. So that will be good for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Now let's move to SSL. Now I have my website is ready, but this is without SSL. If you see not secure. Now I have to make it HTTPS. How? So usually the general process in every organization, what happens is they'll buy a domain name, let's say abc.com or xy.com or something, and they'll point to this IP address. So that when you open domain name, this will open. That's how everything works. See, every website, whatever you open, will have to run somewhere, right? It will be running in some server. The server will have an IP address or something, host name or something. Every company, what they will do, they'll buy a domain name, they'll point to that server. That's it. And when you open domain name, so it will open the website. As I told you yesterday, right? Domain is easy to remember. That's why. IP you can't remember. Oh, this is difficult, right? That's why. And that way it will change, not static. So we can't buy a domain name now. So it will cost us. And how to do without domain? Yeah, we can do it. So usually they buy a domain and they buy a certificates and they use it. So here two things are there we need to buy. The certificates around, I don't remember exactly, but domain will come with little less also. But yeah, to renew, I think it's around 6,000 or something. I don't remember exactly. Certificates also around same thing. So we can buy it. I can buy it. So that's why we use the IP address itself. And for certificates, what we do? Okay, for domain, you said okay, IP is fine. But for certificates, we create our own instead of depending, instead of buying it. How to create? So there are a few commands which helps us in creating certificates. Those are big commands. I don't remember it. Let's see. My version. What is my version? I think it's Ubuntu 22. Okay, all right. Yeah, I got it. So now what we'll do is we create our own certificates and we validate them by ourselves. Then we use it. That's why if you see self-signed certificate, what does that mean is usually you if you want a certificate, you will buy from some authorized dealers or someone who will be there. We have to buy from them if it is authorized. So then the internet will recognize it. The browser will recognize its certificate and allows you. But here we can't do any of those, right? That's why we creating our own certificates. We are authorizing it by ourselves. Will it work? It works. HTTPS will work, but we'll see what is the catch there. But it works for now. So blah 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 something. Install Apache 2. We have already installed blah blah this. So this we'll start from this one. So it's saying enable mod SSL. What is that? Let me go here. So yesterday I told you, I'll explain these things. I mean, of course, you know this. What is all these other things is? These are configuration directories. The first thing is mods. If you see mods enabled, mods available. These are modules. Apache has some modules. What? Let's say if you want to do something, you can use a module to do the task. As an example, in our case, SSL is not enabled by default. You can't use SSL directly. Then how to use it? Because Apache, I want to use HTTP. Yes, for with Apache, there is a module for that. You have to enable the module with a command, and you can start using it once it's enabled. So with the command, I'll enable. Okay, that's fine. But why the directories is when you enable a module, the module configuration, the module will go here in this folder, mods enabled. That's why. There is something called mods available. It means which are all the available modules, but not enabled as of now. See, these are all so many modules are there which are available in Apache by default. You don't need to do anything, but they are not enabled because we don't need it. Let's go to mods enabled. These are all the modules which are enabled by we didn't enable it by default. It's enabled. So here, if you see, there is no SSL, right? We have to enable it so that SSL module will be enabled. Then so that we can able to use it. Now you understand what is mods enabled, mods available. So mods enabled is a directory where all the enabled modules will be present. Mods available means all the available modules which are not enabled. Got it? And let's enable. How to enable? There is a command A2ENMOD. Sorry. What is this A2ENMOD? Don't worry. A2 means Apache 2. EN means enable. MOD means module. Apache enable module. That's it. What is the module name? SSL module, right? But I don't remember the module name. Let's go here. What they're saying. Mod underscore SSL. Or simple SSL, sorry. Just type SSL. Let's see. If you see enabling module SSL. These are some dependencies modules for SSL. Forget about it. Don't worry. It's enabled, right? So to activate the module, you will restart. Let's restart. Blah. None. Now what we have to do? Create a certificate. This is the command they gave. Don't worry, we'll see all these things. First, OpenSSL is the command is to create and managing certificates. So it will start with OpenSSL. If you see this required, why not on something is like this is a signing request, CSR. So usually you'll see this is the one, public key which will handles the verification. And how many days? 365 days validity. By default, yeah, 365 2 years, something like that, usually. And the new key RSA 2048 is new key is like we are creating a new certificate and a key at the same time. What is this RSA 2048 is? This is an algorithm which uses to create certificate. Don't ask me what's inside the algorithm. I don't know. It's an 2048 bits law. Actually, that's how it is. And it's an algorithm. It will generate the certificate. If I remember correctly, I think some guys at Dell who the Dell or USD, they created this algorithm. I think they developed this, but I don't remember the names. Next thing we have key out and out. Key out is where where to place this private key that we are creating. Out is where to place the certificate we are creating. Let me explain again clearly. OpenSSL is a command to create a certificate. So here what we are doing, we are creating a certificate along with the private key because certificate needs a private key to validate. So we are creating a certificate and a private key for 365 days. The validity using this RSA 2048 algorithm. Other all normal. See, we are giving the path where it should be present. I mean, the key should be present, where the CRT should be present. These two are required for the application because to run anything, I mean, not just Apache or anything, to run any application to deploy it anywhere, you need dot key and dot CRT. CRT is a certificate and dot key is a private key to validate. Let's copy this command. Let's let's paste it here. Let's modify a little bit. These are all fine. Key out. Just giving my name, that's it. Not really. Path I'm not giving because wherever I execute this, it will be present. Okay. Key command is ready. Now if I execute, what happens? It will prompt you like this. What is the country name, state, location, organization, email address, domain, blah 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 something. Let's try this. Let's see if this works or not. What is the country name? India, I guess IN. Country code is IN. State KA. Locality name UDP. It's not really matter because we're not creating a real certificate. We're just generating our own certificate just for in practice. Got it right? So you can give anything. But if you're creating original certificate, you're buying a certificate, you have to give clear details. Organization name, trust agile, organization unit name. What is the unit name? I'll give ADAS. Just example. Company name, common name, sorry. Trust. So it says if you see common name, we have to give IP address or a host name. We don't have a domain name, right? So let's give this IP. Let's give email address test@mail.com, whatever it is. So certificates are generated. See, is it created? Open the certificate. You can open it certificate. This is the certificate. You can open the key also. See, this is the key. Now we have to tell Apache to use these things in that configuration. Then it will be required. Let's see. Blah blah. This is not required because what they're doing is they're creating a separate file for this SSL configuration. We can able to do the same thing in apache2.conf. Don't worry. So we have already written the virtual host, but they have written few extra things for SSL. Let me show you. So I think you will already understood these lines. We are running on SSL engine certificate where the path is CRT path and the key path. Let's copy for our. Well, let's copy this. Let's paste it here. Now we have to give a certificate path here. Where is it? It's in slash it is Apache 2 trustagent.crt. Let's go here. Apache 2 slash this is the path. Same way. The key also in the same right. So this is my configuration. Copy this. Go to Apache configuration file or virtual host. Yeah, here it is. Simply paste it. Now this is fine. So document root or our data is present here, and SSL for our application. These are SSL path, correct path, and we are giving permissions to that data wherever our code is present. Now only thing is we have to make sure it's 443 port number, because as I told you, right, HTTP is 80, HTTPS is 443. That's fine, and you have to allow the port. Listen 443. By default, it's not allowed. Now that's it. That's it about SSL configuration. Let's see if it works or not. Let's see. What is the first thing we have to do? Check the syntax. Syntax is correct. Okay, let's restart system video, restart Apache to done. Now let's come here. Let's refresh. It's not working. Now, sorry. Let's use HTTPS. See, come on, proceed. Open. Invalid certificate, obviously, because we generated by our own. We didn't bought it. This is expected. This also is expected, not secure, because browser is not validating it. Whatever the certificate that we have generated. Why? Because it's not bought. I mean, we're not bought the certificate from official vendors or anyone. That's why. See, open. That's it. As simple as that. I mean, we just create our own certificate. We use it configuration. In same scenario, in office, let's say someone told you, hey, I got the certificates. My certificates are there. You apply that to Apache configuration or where whatever it is. Same thing you do. You get the CRT file, .key file, and add in the configuration. This obviously won't work because it's our own self-signed. Got it? Is it clear so far? Any doubts? Any doubts?
None.
No, no.
Others?
No.
All right. So it's simple. I mean, it's not really. Don't worry about it. So that's how you set up Apache, without SSL, with SSL. Now I got a small requirement. Very small. Don't worry about that. Let me show you. Let's copy this. See, if I open HTTPS, it's working like this. But without HTTPS, it's opening something else. Because without HTTPS, it's opening whatever present in var www, whatever present in that directory. I don't want this. See, have you ever opened any website with like this? No, right? You don't open. You don't just simply type Google. That's it. Like this, right? You don't give specifically HTTPS whenever you're opening something. Anything. It is not this single website. You just simply use youtube.com. That's it. Correct? You don't use HTTPS space colon slash slash the blah blah something. You don't use it. So, but if you see, it's automatically opening HTTPS. Why? How it's opening? See, if in our case, if we open normal without HTTPS, it's opening something. With HTTPS, it's working. But other websites, see, they are without you don't need to specify anything, but they are opening already. How? Why? So, a simple logic what they'll do is they'll create one virtual host config and forward the request automatically, redirect the request to HTTPS. What they do is, let's say the request, someone opened youtube.com without defining HTTPS, without mentioning HTTPS. It will take the request. It automatically redirect the request to HTTPS. Got it right? What I'm saying. So it will automatically convert it to HTTPS and it will send to the server. You don't need to do HTTPS manually. That also will say. That's what we call it redirecting HTTP to HTTPS. That's what he told. Our configuration will only respond to HTTPS request on port 443. Correct? This is what we are seeing. If you use HTTPS, then only it works. If you use without HTTPS, it will open something else. I don't want that. If I open this also, it should go to this. Why should go to this? Because that's our application. That's our secure application. But people don't want to use. I mean, people never, even I never open with any website with https.com something. I just simply open website name. It should redirect automatically to this secure website. So at the time we define a configuration. We write a virtual host C redirect slash blah blah something. Let's try the same thing for our application. Mm, Wait, let's open a different link. No, no. Yeah, okay, this is the easy one. Let's try like this only. Simply open it. Apache.conf. Now what I do is I'll create another virtual host. Star colon 80. Why 80? That's what the default port number without HTTPS. Yeah, this one correct. So if someone open website in 80 port, it should automatically redirect to 443 port. What they have written here, this is not required redirect. This is the line. Simply paste it, change it to your IP. Where is your HTTPS? This one. Copy, paste it. Let's see. Sorry, I had to close it. See, I forgot. I had to close it. That's it. Now what happens is when you open it directly with HTTPS, it will work. When you forgot to, use HTTPS, it will go here and immediately redirect to this one, this 443. That's what the line here. If you open something, redirect automatically to this IP because this is the configuration. Correct? Now let's check the syntax. Correct. Now restart the server. Restarted. Now let's refresh this thing. See, it opened, right? Correct. Did you saw that one? I simply open this. It, let me try this. HTTP colon slash slash. This is my IP. See, I didn't mention HTTPS anywhere. If I click this, it should open 80 port usually, whatever the code is present. But what we did, we have made a redirect setting. So if you open this one, it should automatically redirect to HTTPS. Let's try. Load. It'll work. Don't worry. That's how usually in every organization that they'll set up this one. Even in our organization also. Because the customers never open like that HTTPS colon slash slash google.com. They just simply type Google. I mean the website.com something. So it should I mean we should have our configuration automatically redirect to HTTPS just like how we did here. It's the same. Same configuration everywhere. I mean, there won't be any huge lines or something like that. Correct? Got it? This is about SSL. Yeah.
Okay.
Any doubts so far? Any doubts?
No, no.
Okay. So this is about HTTP D or Apache 2. Both are same. I told you right yesterday. If it is Ubuntu Debian method, I mean flavors, it's Apache 2. If it is Fedora, Red Hat, CentOS like this, these are HTTP D. So that's all about HTTP. I think there is one thing I missed. Let me tell you. I think mods enabled, mods available means which modules are available, which modules are enabled. They will be in a different directories. Same way here. Sites available, sites enabled. What does it mean? Sites available is see whatever we written just now in the main configuration file, right? Correct. Usually some people don't like to write here. They don't want to touch the main configuration file. They simply copy it. Blah blah blah. See, I deleted everything. So what they do is they go to sites enabled directory. They'll create a new here. ssl.conf. .conf. You can give whatever the name be before, but give .conf. So they'll create here. So now what happens? I created a new configuration file with my virtual host configuration inside the sites enabled directory. So what does it mean? Apache will take it. Apache will take it automatically. If you keep the same thing in sites available, Apache will read it, but it won't allow, it won't run it because available is it's available, but we're not enabled to use it. Similar with modules, same thing. Correct? Am I correct? What I'm saying. So that's what about sites enabled and sites available. Similar way with mods enabled and mods available. Available means they are available, but Apache, I mean, we haven't started it. Simply, let's say we haven't started using it. Enabled means we are using it. We enable it so that it will use. Similar way with cons. These are all configurations which are available. Sorry, which are enabled. Let's open one thing. See, something. Some log file is there. This is something. So you can write your own configuration, but we don't use. I never used it. But you can have your own configuration here with your own settings. You can keep it in conf enable so that this will allow. Got it? So these are about the configurations, Apache configurations, and we have seen how to install it, how to deploy our application in anywhere in the path. I mean, it's not really only in var HTML, any path, and how to set up SSL certificates, our own certificates, and use them in just for testing purpose. So, any doubts in Apache?
None.
Others, any doubts? No. Okay, yeah, do practice it. Tomorrow, same time, we'll see another thing. Okay. All right, everyone. Bye. Bye all.